नमस्कार।
Namaskar. Welcome to
सुप्रभात। ये आकाशवाणी है।
welcome to
दोपहर के
Tihad.
5 बज रहे हैं।
Welcome to Tihad jail.
नहीं, ये दोपहर के 5 बज रहे हैं। मैं पूरी वो आकाशवाणी वाली करता हूँ जैसे वो करता था विविध भारती वाले।
Hmm.
सुप्रभात। नहीं, ये तो वो हो गया गुड मॉर्निंग। नमस्कार। दोपहर के 5 बज रहे हैं और आप सुन रहे हैं विविध भारती।
With Bharti.
विविध भारती।
So you told
और
me you were a radio kid.
yeah, I'm a radio kid.
You
Yeah,
are a
that's why I
radio
remember.
kid.
4 बजे आता था सखी की सहेली विविध भारती पे और मेरे खानदान वाले वही सुनते थे रेडियो पे एंड देन देयर वाज अदर प्रोग्राम मेरा फेवरेट प्रोग्राम था 8 बजे आता था वो आई थिंक इट स्टिल डज इट्स कॉल्ड हवा महल आई डोंट नो इफ पीपल नो
Acha, acha.
दैट only on Vivid Bharati or I think ARFM Rainbow but it's called Hava Mahal. So what was it? It was a small skits or stories
Acha.
performed on the radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of them were used to be so deep and funny that still I remember them and as a kid listening to them and still makes me laugh from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So एक था कि वो मुगले आजम की कॉमेडी थी. They used to कि एक राइटर है वो मुगले आजम को फिर से लिख रहा है, right?
Mm-hmm.
बट जैसे वो कुछ भी आइकॉनिक डायलॉग लिखता है ना उसकी लाइफ में कोई ना कोई चीज हो जाती है साइड पे जो उसको फनी बना देती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो लिख रहा था अकबर सलीम से कहता है बड़ी ऊंची आवाज में उसका बच्चा साइड से बोलता है अरे अब्बा चड्डी देना मेरी. तो इट्स काइंड ऑफ लाइक फनी इन दैट वे कि उसका स्पूफ है वो एक काइंड. वो राइटर कोशिश तो कर रहा है मगर उसका फोकस नहीं बन रहा क्योंकि उसकी लाइफ में दूसरी चीज ऐसी चल रही है जो उसको रोक रही है अच्छे
So
से
puri
लिखने
ki
से.
puri movie they would do on the radio.
It's not a movie, but they will make
Audio
caricatures or
audio movie kind
skits.
of thing.
Yeah, they will make skits and something like that.
Acha.
And बहुत डीप था. फिर एक शो आता था वो भी 5 बजे नहीं 3 बजे के अराउंड ऐसे आता था. वो तो सारा वो था एग्जैक्टली कि मूवीज डिस्क्राइब करता था एंकर. He would describe movies and they will pick ऐसे है कि वो कहानी बता रहा है and he will pick up the clips from the movie and just play it just to give a reference कि अब हम मूवी में यहाँ आ चुके हैं. So कोई iconic dialogues ये वगैरह तो you can hear it. So वो थोड़े टाइम की क्लिप चलाते थे then he will just describe the story. So story describe की जाती थी जो dialogues थे वो play किए जाते थे तो kind of saved a lot of time in there.
Oh.
And but that's how I grew up listening to radio and especially I heard stories and movies rather than watching them because मेरे पास cable TV नहीं था. And second of all कश्मीर में लाइट नहीं होती थी growing up.
Is it because of the unrest or just
No, it was
infrastructure
just
issue?
like that. One of the reason it became a reason for the unrest too because Kashmir used to produce so much electricity that it used to go outside of the state.
Water? Like dam?
No,
Hydro?
electricity. Yeah, hydroelectricity. We used to
Yeah.
we still produce such high amounts of hydroelectricity and वो कश्मीर में नहीं रहती थी वो बाहर चली जाती थी या कुछ और रिसोर्सेज पे यूज की जाती थी. तो दैट वाज अ काइंड ऑफ लाइक सैड पार्ट क्योंकि वो बिजली हमारी है राइट और हमें नहीं मिल रही तो उसका फायदा क्या. सो ग्रोइंग अप ऐसा होता था 6 घंटे बिजली रहती थी 6 घंटे नहीं और फिर वो ऐसे ही चलता था. हर दिन का अपना एक अलग स्केड्यूल था एंड आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर सम ऑफ इट.
Okay.
लाइक आई रिमेम्बर संडे सुबह 8 या 7 बजे आ जाती थी 1 बजे के अराउंड चली जाती थी and then it will come back at 6 o'clock then remain till midnight or something like that और फिर चली जाती थी and then next day के हिसाब से वो schedule था वो kind of odd even play करते थे उसमें तो it was a life of its own and अलग जर्नी थी. How about you? Did you listen to radio?
In a way, later, very late. Like जब डिजिटलाइजेशन होगी सारे ही और केबल वेबल भी अक गए और जब इंटरनेट आ गया और फोन्स में इंटरनेट आ गया लाइक नॉट अ स्मार्टफोन आई हैड दिस नोकिया अर्ली नोकिया फोन जो छोटी सी स्क्रीन
Oh, the N97 kind of things.
और नहीं वो तो दैट्स स्टिल स्मार्ट. मेरे पास वो
Okay.
था 2000 रुपए वाला फोन था.
अच्छा.
Anyway, so they they would have radio too, so that was my
Hmm.
radio experience. But
How come you stumbled upon the radio? Like, what pushed you to the radio? Like, you wanted to listen to something, or just
I traveled a lot.
oh,
I'll tell you why. My college was approximately some days 1 hour, some
mm,
days almost 2 hour bus journey one side every day,
mm-hmm.
right? From my
Okay,
my city to college. So during that, apart from listening music, watching movies on the laptop, and radio was one of the thing I would
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
otherwise. Because I was like
दर्शकों को हम
very
दर्शकों को हम ये बता दें कि लैपटॉप पे हम मूवीज देखते थे बस के अंदर।
अरे यार मैंने I broke my laptop in bus. Those uh, so we never got like sarkari buses, right?
Yeah.
We got private buses. They don't give a fuck about anything. Eh? We
Mm,
would put our laptop bag ऊपर है ना,
yeah.
जब भी पॉट हॉल या बड़ा भी पॉट हॉल आता था धड़म, और
Mm.
it would fall either on someone's head or some on something. So that
पर लैपटॉप भी हैवी थे उस टाइम कौन सा
laptop,
लाइट
yeah,
था।
Lenovo laptop, black, very metallic, and all that. So the amount of times that it fell. So at one point, I was literally holding the screen, and it was star लगी हुई थी बस. उसके hinges टूट चुके थे. I was holding the screen and would put it near the wall or
uh,
something. It was that bad.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think when I came here, radio accessibility was a bit weird. So I started listening to this Bobby Friction BBC radio. I don't know if you know
Mm-hmm.
about it. It's called BBC Asian or something. I totally
Mm-hmm.
forgot now. So yeah, I would request them on Twitter. Hey, can you play me this message, that message?
Mm-hmm.
10 साल पहले की बात है. Hey, can you
Mm-hmm.
play this song, or you know, weird context, weird commentary on things.
ये भी गैप है ना हमारे में because when did you came to Canada like
15,
2000
15.
2015
Yeah,
okay yeah
yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine that 2015 को भी 10 साल हो गए like it's a
I know.
sometimes I think it's 10 साल भी कहता है मैं automatically 2010 or I will
Hmm.
go back to 2011 I don't think 2015 is 10 years ago 2015 is still like it's like 5 years ago it was just right now by the
Yeah,
corner
I see people in a bus stand, or cycling, or doing anything. I'll go day one of my life. Like, okay, shit. It's gonna be an interesting journey for them too. I try to, picture stories. कि उनके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा होगा, like comparing to what I had in my mind. Of
mm-hmm.
course, I was shit for क्या बोलते हैं,
Mm-hmm.
very dumb kid, a kid in a sense. Uh, Try to experience everything and try to.
So you were 20 when you came here, right? Basically 20, 22?
No, 22, 23, 23. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And yeah, it's a long journey, but it's a fun
Yeah.
journey. Now you think about it, पता नहीं चलता, like you can't comprehend भी इतने साल लगाए हैं. This is what
Well,
this is what happened, right? कि ऐसा होता ही नहीं 10 साल भी, like you said.
mm.
Yeah. So yeah, कि time, you don't understand कि इतना time बीत चुका है.
Mm.
You don't feel like 10 साल बीत चुके हैं. For us, it will be like, yeah, अगर मैं लिखने बैठूं या recall करने बैठूं, तो yes, there are a lot of events that happened in our lives that can fill books. तो जब सोचने बैठते हैं, you will remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
But अगर ऐसे ही याद करते हैं 2014 में क्या हुआ था, then it doesn't feel that far.
You know how I just, my life is like, every year there's something significant has happened that I just remember every year by the milestone. That milestone or that event. Like 2014 पे कहेगा like flood आ गया था कश्मीर में. 15 I left boarding school. So there's all those kind of milestones you kind of remember every time to go to, it's like a reference to the year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like they are They are the personality uh, development milestone too. उस milestone के बाद you kind of flip your personality.
I can say that, yeah.
Yeah,
जो दो events मैंने बोले थे, they did kind of flip my personality.
yeah, yeah.
That definitely happened with me. So, like, आपका, what was your experience like as a student back in the day? Like, uh,
यहाँ पे ना.
interaction with the community
Mhm.
and how were you like?
I, I came.
How community reacted towards you basically?
Hmm, hmm. I feel like I didn't try to stand out too much. I did not try that.
Like how?
Uh, so just before coming, I didn't have smartphone. We just got smartphone, like the big screen, GPS,
Yeah.
internet, and everything. One a month before coming here. So
Hmm.
uh, fear of fear of the unknown made me research a lot about this place. In last 2 months, I
Yeah.
downloaded offline maps from a third party thing. Google didn't offer offline maps that time. I
Yeah.
downloaded PDFs of grocery prices here, and yeah, things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of cultural nuances I tried to learn from there. So when I came here, it was fun. I moved in for a week with my family friends, and they eventually then found me a room to rent. For first month, I was in Brampton, so I didn't have much of the culture shock experience here. It was a very familiar community, very familiar faces, culture wise, and wherever I would go, I would see more, uh, more familiarity everywhere. Even though you know they say like oh such difference in India and Canada wherever you are, right? But in a lot of way, the city I came from, Ludhiana, is full of migrants, full of people who are from all over India, and I came from very densely populated place too. So uh, it was fun. But community, whoever I interacted with, did not overreact or did not give me that sort of feeling that that I am doing something wrong. I always had a curious mind, so I was trying to go in in their mindset or in to learn what is happening, why is that's way and why is that way. When I moved to Scarborough the very next month because of the college, then everything was new. I had to live in an apartment, then college, buses, uh, job hunt, a lot of job hunts for 6 months, didn't work. In our college, one of the a teacher, just for the first few days, they gave a crash course on, you know, what to expect in Canadian life, like what to expect in winter season, driving wise, walking wise,
Canadian life, yeah.
everything. Like, hey, if you are passing someone old or someone on the road, try to say excuse me so that they don't startle or react in a
Mm.
things like that. Or if you are
Which
driving.
which college was it?
It was Lambton College. I don't know if we should share these things online, but whatever.
Yeah, but no, it's important, right? Because we many of the colleges, I don't think they give this kind of uh,
Yeah, it was like
beginning crash courses anymore.
it wasn't even crash course. It was just a random, very old teacher.
Orientation, yeah,
Orientation, but not even orientation.
yeah,
During our regular curriculum, and
yeah.
we had like I think for a week we had one lecture every day or something, if I can remember correctly.
Hmm.
And they would tell us like what are these things, what are that things. Don't try to look both ways when it's icy because cars don't stop often. The brakes don't work properly in ice and
Yeah.
things like that. Like very you know how you are super experienced and you tell these very nuanced things kind of thing. So
Like you're doing right now. Yes.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
feel like that helped a lot, kinda. They told us very small things that we need to keep in mind, and other things we just learn by mistakes, like missing a bus stop, you going on a wrong bus, wrong direction, wrong subway, wrong train, east west address difference. Crazy. It will be 10 kilometers apart from each other if just east or west in the address.
Uh, when I came here, the biggest thing I saw was the automatic reaction of our own people towards international students, and that was like biggest kind of shock for me. Like how, like why, and unsettling too at many of the times, because you were a part of community too that was being targeted
Hmm.
like that. Even radio stations used to spew so much bullshit back in the day,
Hmm.
and but there was some uh, people calling in and talking about international students, and it still happens. Like you can go and watch all over Instagram and stuff. It still happens. Uh, then you have like social media, of course, where you saw like people uploading videos and so many things, like everything that you could do to oppose the international students and
Hmm.
their identity, it was done, and not by some other community, by I'm
Ourselves.
specifically talking about Indian community,
Hmm.
and about Indian international students.
Hmm.
So we kind of became a very soft target for everything. Back in the day, I remember they used to say the biggest thing they used to say, like other than like personal nitpicks, Indian community used to say they are taking away our jobs. That was the biggest point of contention. कि मैंने समझ नहीं आया, like what do you mean by that
Hmm.
exactly, right?
Hmm.
What jobs? Jobs जो हैगी ने, and you can fill it anytime. Like I'm not stealing anybody's job. You can apply for it. I can apply for it.
Yeah.
The biggest example I've given: if a person from people demonize refugees too, which I don't like.
Hmm.
कि illegal even immigrants do that too, but I don't like to throw any community like that under the bus.
Hmm.
They will say like if a person from Syria as a refugee can come in to this country with little to no knowledge about English or how, like how the culture works, but you haven't experienced that culture personally, can come in with his family from very turmoil place and then go on to become successful. I think you have to look into mirror yourself at that point, that it's not you're doing something wrong, it's just you're missing the point somewhere. Like some people like us international students come with, we have survival on our minds, right? We
Yeah.
want to survive in this society.
Yeah.
Thriving is other thing. We want to survive in this society. There's a difference, and you are stealing us of that too, by saying that we are taking away your jobs, or like how. I still don't understand, like how I'm taking away your job. I have, like, my English communication skills are still shit, even if I've studied here for so long. I don't speak like native. I don't behave like a native. The people who are talking about jobs being taken away from their children, I don't understand that how. And that time it used to boggle my mind a lot, because most of the jobs that Indian international students were doing were menial jobs, were like what, clerking jobs, or associates, gas station, everything that you can find at the bottom of the barrel, those kind of jobs. And then we kind of rose ourselves from there over the time. so many of us, like you, me, and many other, we started from the bottom, all of us.
Yeah.
Even I'm not talking about, it doesn't mean some people do come from privileged backgrounds, and but everybody I seen or I have been with, they all started from the bottom with little to no help from their family.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people had like educational money to, just focus on education, but some people didn't even have that. And I know personal stories where people work 2 and 3 jobs a week to get the bills paid, get the tuition fees paid, and everything. And there there are always some bad actors. I don't want to indulge in that conversation right now, but it's just, it felt more bad when our own community kind of demonized us all the time. Like they will take everything that we do and put it out negatively. There was always a negative uh, media coverage to it. There was a negative mindset towards one's existence, and that kind of felt weird, because how come we are the always that are wrong, right? इनने भी तो गलत नहीं हो सकता ना, कोई इतना भी तो गलत नहीं हो सकता कि हमेशा ही असली ही गलत हैं, right?
Exactly.
That was my experience initially. Initially,
Mm-hmm.
but things did change in the middle for a bit. As soon as this COVID came around and went away, we're back to that same position now that that I used to see when I started, and now that position has changed into more. It has gone beyond our community. All those talking points that we had coming from our community got cherry picked, and all this racist jargon we are seeing online, when you go online, you see, oh, international student did this. You see same comments that I used to see back in the day.
In real
You
life.
you see same comments under those pages. And those comments are now come charged with racism too, and xenophobia. There will be like people, even brown people over there, from different communities, saying bad stuff about brown people from other communities, right? So the whole thing is very hypered up now. It's different than before. Before it was more internal racism, internal xenophobia, internal discrimination, casteism, classism.
May I ask one thing?
Yeah.
So, do you think that what we see on social media represent the real world?
It does, big time. I have seen it. Kyunki, I will give an example, if to contradict you a little bit here. Take farmers' protests, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, like I was writing articles back in the day. I was superly involved online, talking about farmers and sharing as much as I can. All the power I had that time, right? What we were reacting to was online comments, and we used to call different cells that used to work against pro farmer pages and everything. So what online does, it kind of hypes up what's happening, and I will say it kind of affects that real life.
Yeah.
It amplifies everything, right?
Yeah.
It does amplify. I will agree with that, but it is the reality. In real life, everything is kind of silent. It happens, but very silently, because it's more fear of being judged. It's more fear of being, called out. And it's very easy to be called out in real life, right? And in real life, things can be more emotional, more personal with people.
Yeah.
Online, you don't have that barrier. That curtain is removed. You can be anybody. You're a single person and you can have 10 multiple different profiles and 10 multi. It's like a personality disorder.
Mm-hmm. They give you an accessibility to
Yeah. It
pursue
breaks
your
the barrier for
disorder.
you, right? But it is real, right? Everything is online, it's real. It's our projection.
Yeah.
It's social projection, actually.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're afraid to say in the real world, we are speaking it online. Uh, like you and me, like we'll go into person and we are the same person in the real world too. But we have certain boundary in real world too, where we can speak or we cannot speak because it's more personal in real world. It makes a different impact. But online, it's a bit different. We have certain kind of freedom. We have certain kind of elements that puts up at like different places and makes us act a little differently than real world. But I will say yes, it is the projection of real world. It's more amplified, but it
Mm-hmm.
is. To answer your basic question, I do believe that people post online, and even if it's like amplified, I do believe certainly that somewhere it comes deep down from their inner thoughts and the things that want to speak in real life, but they don't want to because I know it's not accepted.
So it's a toxic medium and a very seductive medium to give in your inner demons, to let them out in a safe way. Nobody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about like us using social media? Why would an intellectual, why wouldn't he just stop using it, knowing that the algorithm of most of these platforms are promoting
Yeah.
or showing only the negative aspect of it, or the more interactive
Okay.
content which are negative and hateful.
Uh, I will ask you a counter question on this.
Yeah.
You have another was page
Yeah.
for so long, right?
Yeah.
Why did you start at that page?
Why did I? Yeah,
Yeah.
to raise some awareness, and or
Yeah.
what you say, when we in the beginning we talked about that professor, right, telling
Yeah.
us the small things. So this was like that, to show us, tell us tell
Yeah.
people like some small or big things. But
Yeah.
yeah.
See, online, we need to have spaces or pages or people to, I won't call myself any sort of intellectual scholar. I'm nothing. I'm a diploma holder. But what I do online, why I am making podcasts, I've talked about in my own section of the Project Vagabond podcast. Because somewhere I feel some things need to be spoken louder.
Hmm.
Like there's a quote by Bhagat Singh, I have that somewhere, right? Like कभी कभी जब बहरा हो जाता है ना बंदा, थोड़ा होली सुनता है, तो आवाज ऊंची करनी पड़ती है. But मैं यही कह रहा था, we need these places, these accounts to exist, uh, because let me give you an example. As an international student, I've I'm not successful. I've never been successful in doing this. I always wanted to somehow organize us and more positively, and you know speak about the issues, organize, do discussions, to protest, basically, a form of letting that steam out, where we can let people know that things are happening to us and you need to listen, you need to know.
Hmm.
I took a social media break for a long time, and when I came back, I saw these actual accounts. There were accounts like meme accounts, and those meme accounts were doing everything. They were advertising. They were like, I don't know what they were doing. What was the objective of those meme account? I think it was just for most of them it was making money
Money,
uh,
easy money.
and easy money and information. Two
Yeah.
things. I will not discredit them. They were doing good work together, but it was not real organizing. It wasn't the movement. It
Yeah.
was a precursor to movement, I would say.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I saw your page. And through your page, I found Nojuan student to the organization. Then I find the ISSU, the Manitoba one. So I found these pages who are doing this immensely positive work
Mhm.
that provide us international students with a little bit more hope. And it's not like they haven't proven any results, and they have. Like what happened in Manitoba was a result of that organizing. So I always wanted to do that, but I think I'm not that guy. I'm more like I have realized my role long time ago. I'm a media person. I'm the one who talks about it, who wants to talk about it, because sometimes things are just so lost in the process that you need to resurface the stories. You need to, you know, kind of like secondhand telling of things.
Okay.
But what these accounts do, they create a positive. They show us international students in positive accounts.
Mhm.
They show us a side of our lives and struggle of our lives in a very positive sense, in a very meaningful way,
Mm.
right? Uh, so there's definitely this need, because वो होता ना कभी कभी दूर से भी अगर रोशनी दिख जाए तो वो मन को थोड़ा शांति देती है कि एटलीस्ट कहीं पे तो कुछ हो रहा है, राइट? कहीं से तो दिशा मिलेगी मुझे, एटलीस्ट मैं उस दिशा में जाऊंगा तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं सहारा मिल जाएगा. And what we are doing right now, like you and me coming together and doing Avaz Radio, which is our podcast name. Sorry, I forgot to tell initially. But what we are doing right now is form of that organizing, right?
Yeah.
We found a common ground, and we believe that we have some ideas that are very similar, and we want to sit down and talk about things and create our kind of like media platform with a website and everything, right? So I don't know how big of impact we will create, how big of a reach we'll have. I don't care about that. Neither I have thought about that. But the thing is, it it first of all, it's kind of selfish to say it too. It does make me feel better, right? At least I did something. At a point when somebody come up to me and will say, "What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do?" I said, "I did something." When I was doing my journalist work too as a student, most of the stories that I wrote, even in my assignments, were related to international students. And to my shock, that those professors also love those stories because nobody have tried to tell them those stories in that certain way. Even journalist student in colleges, when we had those stories in colleges, but nobody worked on those stories. KPU sent an email to every international student that you have to pay $2,000
Okay.
advance payment, they called it advance fee. Like if your course fee is like $7,000, out of that you have to pay $2,000 in advance. Like
Okay.
that's like one course fee.
Hmm.
If you're not going to do that, we're not going to let you register. We won't give you any registration date. So you are late for registration, you will miss classes.
Hmm.
To my surprise, nobody raised the question to KPU in that time period that why are you doing this? Neither KPU student organizations, KPU student rights organization, Runner magazine, their newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had the guts or idea or direction. Like we should ask this question. Like, and nobody even knew. Some people even knew. Like when I talked to the people in the Runner, and some of the I have the emails. You want the proof? They had no idea about this.
Hmm.
And what I did, I went to my professor in journalism, and I'm like, hey, I want to write, and I was doing print media. I was written media, written journalism. So I'm like, hey, I do want to cover this news. So she's like, okay, do you have sources? I'm like, this is totally new. Only source is KPU, and I don't have any information regarding it. So she helped me out how to figure out ways and how you can reach different kind of people. And I did. And I reached out to everybody. KPU accounting, KPU media, KSA, student rights. Nobody had the answer.
Oh.
That why I'm asking for a very simple answer, like why did this policy came into place? What happened behind the curtains that you thought it would be necessary to make this kind of adjustment, right?
Yeah.
Informal sources were kind of like, but I can't put them in my paper because they don't want to come on the record. So informal sources were like clerks and stuff that worked in KP were like, oh, I think they're doing it because there were a lot of defaults in the account. I'm like, okay, if do you want to come on record? They're like, this is not official position. This is just making our own assumption about it. But so what I did, I went to everybody and I never got the answer. Even external affairs didn't provide me with the answer, right? Even went to KSA, they were like, we don't know anything about it. What is this? I'm like, I don't know. You guys tell me, how is this happening and why is this happening? And that was kind of my last semester in the school too. Second last semester, I guess. But yeah, I did my research and everything. And then I talked to students because students knew about it. So I interviewed students and many were like, things are already getting expensive. Some didn't have the money on the spot because it was too spontaneous. Nobody knew how to react to this. Like, only thing you can do is just pull the money out of somewhere and just register your courses because you don't want to lose those seats.
So why did they ask that much money?
I still don't know.
What was the official term of it?
There is no official term. They just introduced it.
They introduced it after you all started attending classes or just before that?
Just before you were ready to register the next year semester.
Next year semester, what did they say?
Yeah.
That is increase in fees or?
No, they will say, oh, you just have to, like, out of all your tuition fees, part of that fees you have paid in advance. Okay. Because they were putting a condition, if you won't pay this fees, you won't be able to register.
Oh, what the hell, man? Right?
See, you don't even know about this.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about this out of KPU students. And we suffered because of, like, it was my second last semester, so I didn't, but people did suffer because of this. And I went to everybody. Nobody gave me answer. And my journalism department, whole journalism education department was shocked that this is happening in KPU and nobody has answers. And I still wrote that story. And in that paper, I wrote that KPU has not provided me with any answers. KPU, KSA, student rights were not able to provide me with any answers. They have not reached back to me. What that did, I don't know, it didn't make a impact or anything. It was like assignment from my journalism class, but did make impact for me or people around me that something is wrong. You know, there is a need for you to exist in certain form or way on social media to provide the information that other people might not even hear about, might even know about. Your page needed to be existed because you are telling those stories in that kind of way. You're telling those stories in your own form and written. Yesterday you went to the meeting in the Ontario regarding PGWP holders, right? So that was I wouldn't say that was a big thing to do. That was bare minimum that we could do or you could do.
That's what I consider myself, doing whatever bare minimum, whatever I could do.
But people are not doing the bare minimum.
People choose to ignore it. They like comfort.
Right? Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is a very, very, very
it's a blissful
interesting
situation.
Bliss. But it hurts you in the end, no?
No, when you go to philosophy class, first thing they teach you is this quote. They will teach you Socrates and then teach you this quote: ignorance is bliss. Because more ignorant you will be,
you're happier.
More happier you are. Because world is a very, very sad place. But you have to exist. You have to speak up. You have to show up. Like you showed up at that place. You were one person, but like you, 100 other people showed up.
I
And
feel
if
myself like it also depends. Like if you're privileged, you definitely have to do something. If you're privileged enough to make tiny impact, or you have
Mhm.
resources, or you have time, or you have skill, or you have contacts. If
Yeah,
you're privileged in any sort of way, kind of have to do something.
yeah, like I did
Yeah,
in the KPU case. I
yeah,
felt I had the
yeah,
privilege of journalism.
yeah.
I would not have that courage to go against KPU or KSA and ask those kind of questions if I wasn't doing journalism,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Journalism kind of gave me that power that it became a tool for me, right? There are different tools you use.
yeah.
And that was the tool for me in that time period that gave me the courage to, go out and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I'm not saying I'm doing journalism right now. It's not journalism.
Yeah.
But it does give me power. It does give me it does give me all those tools that I need to, you know raise my voice, ask those questions, and, like you said, using your privilege.
Privilege. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever form of privilege we have. I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't have to be.
everything is privilege. Like
Yeah.
being man is a privilege too,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Being man is a very big privilege in this world. Now, being a brown man with a turban and beard sometimes cannot be privileged in the Canadian world. It has its own drawback. But just being a man can be a privilege. There are different privileges at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe people who are at those privilege levels have to have that consideration for people around them and people who are marginalized around them.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. Same thing with, like, you went to the meeting and you came across all those people. What was your experience like? That actually, that tells you a lot.
My experience.
Like, students were there, right? Students
Just
were
yeah,
there.
yeah. Students were
There
there.
people. There were people who were representing the whole movement,
Yeah.
and I think you talked to the both sides.
I really felt this way that you know people like us who sometimes have a lot of things to say, but sometimes also want to convey messages too. This was one of the case. Algoma protest was one of the case. So people like us, we kinda have this what do you call it, opportunity to learn their story, to be in their shoes. The students, the I met so many people who were not students there, of course, because they were work permit people, and some older. I see a lot of older generation people there too. White beard and everything, and they're discussing, these very unique cases about their thing. Oh, very technical details about the thing to this immigration specialist, the Converse Sida guy, and what I felt was like it's very hard to put everything in one box. This making others understand human beings, it's very hard thing to do because understanding one person is pretty hard. I can't really understand you, you can't really understand me. The brain doesn't uh, have that sort of bandwidth to communicate in
No,
that sense.
it takes a lot of communication.
Lot of communication, even
Yeah.
husband wife for 40, 50 years, even they will have a lot of things they're not gonna tell each other. It happens, even subconsciously, but it happens. Now, consider this: that understanding one person is pretty hard. How would you put all these ideas, all this struggle, all this trauma of all these people in one box? And you give this box to everyone. You copy this box and you give the box to everyone, and they will open it. What will they pick? Right? What if they pick the wrong one?
But it's also their privilege to pick and choose, right?
Their privilege.
because they have their comfort to pick those traumas to which
That is
think
true.
they can help.
That's true. It's not their responsibility, it's their privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the struggle would be to convert the privilege to responsibility, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Exactly.
goal of us, and that's the goal of people like us. Or, well, of course, I'm not there yet. Uh, it's hard. It's hard to make people understand what you are going through. It's hard to relate to other people too, emotionally. The pain, the trauma. Watching movies, listening to music, and crying about it can trigger it. But not everyone is that emotionally mature or sensitive. So that's the hard part. Like you said,
Mhm.
they like their ignorant, ignoring habits or whatever. I have this. I have a bunch of friends. They rather be happy. They rather be in their comfort zone. They have their own problems to deal with, own family issues. They really have no mental capacity to deal with the world right now. And it's their. You can't blame them. It's their right. It's their. You know,
Yeah.
can't force these things on them.
No, they have their own fights to fight,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's true too. Like you can't really win the world, or you can't really win any big ethical war if you yourself haven't win yourself yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I feel like that I struggle a lot every day, every single day. I have a lot of inner battles happening.
Gurbani says, right? Man jeete to jag jeet.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
a lifelong battle, I
Lifelong
guess.
battle.
And yeah, so you never win the jug. I don't think
No.
you're supposed to win the jug. Then you will be
No,
egoistic.
no, you're not. If you're doing that, you're an Alexander.
That's you will become narcissist. You will
Narcissist.
become ego will come there.
By by jug, I think in that is more like the universe within you.
Okay,
I think
being omni in a
being,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a universe of its own within you, because we are talking about from spiritual sense, like what I believe in. We are just part of a big universe, and that universe kind of exists in us,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Interesting.
But did you talk to the people there? Like, did you do some interviews and stuff? Because I saw some social media posts, right?
Yes, I talked to the organizers first, just
Yeah,
before they started the meeting, the conference kind of thing.
yeah,
I knew some of them. They I met them in the other protests,
yeah.
and they're working very hard. These people.
No, they are. They are working
They're
very hard.
working very hard, and
They,
this is a pleasant weather situation. The Algoma
yeah,
protest was very harsh.
yeah.
Oh my god!
No, I
Like
saw it.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was
It was
watching over it.
minus 20, minus 30 degree temperature, and they're sleeping
Overnight,
outside overnight.
overnight protest, bro. That
Overnight
was hard.
protest. They're sleeping
I
in
was,
the
I was like,
tent out
God
there.
damn, they did it.
Okay, so yeah, I met them. You saw the clips that I posted.
Yeah, I saw
So
it.
that was basically what they were trying to achieve just before the meeting.
Yeah,
And then when they were presenting the ideas, the key points, the issues we have,
mm-hmm.
7 issues he pointed out, Convert. And out of 7, like every single one of them has possible solution according to the document as well as them too.
Yeah,
Possible solution, like not suggested solution, like not like actual solutions. So he was asking like everyone to send advice what can be changed in this
mm-hmm.
document or in this letter to minister.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see, I can show you right now.
Yeah. Let's see it. Let's look it up.
Yeah,
Because they were talking more about like Ontario PNP, because I saw some points on the social media that Converse shared on his Sarai immigration account on Instagram. I don't have X or Twitter or whatever it is called now,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. So he did send me the thing. I asked him, can you send me PDF? They were saying they were gonna share it to people,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure where they were
No,
sharing it.
I saw some Instagram story about it, but I'm not feeling well today, basically, so I kind of
Okay.
slept over.
Yeah, I
Actually,
was.
your call woke me up.
Oh, well. I hope you ate.
No, I haven't. I probably will cook up something after this thing.
Okay. Sorry, it's too many OTPs. Okay. Right.
You have a PDF about it?
Yeah, it's already open. Let me just put it on the thing.
No, I can see it too.
You can, right?
So, yeah. Honorable Minister, urgent call for immediate measures to address expiring work permits and ongoing provincial nomination issues under OINP. We, the undersigned, are writing to bring to your attention the pressing concerns surrounding the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program and to urge Minister to implement substantial immediate measures to address the current challenges faced by both current applicants and potential candidates for OINP. So this is Ontario Minister of Labour and Immigration,
Yeah.
David Pickini. So key issues are processing delays
Processing
and then
priority.
and proposed solution for delays, allocate more resources to ensure minimal processing delays, maintain or even improve services. OINP processing priority, prioritize OINP election for those who perform within the next 60 days. That's good. Clear communication, provide a clear and accurate projection of application status in OINP portal, ensure that decisions are made in 2-3 weeks for the point the application is submitted. Draw frequencies, more convenient, consistent and frequent draws are urgently needed as the expiring work permits are made. Stress not only applicants but businesses that support
So these 2 points were more prominent.
work permit extension of potential applicants. Such a special provision has been introduced in Manitoba, supported and endorsed by the Progressive Conservative Caucus of Manitoba and Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Systems in Canada, Honorable Mark Miller, in statement issued 8/2024. While the measure applies to Manitoba, IRCC is open to exploring options with other provinces and territories to transition a greater portion of current temporary residents to permanent residents and addresses their labour market needs. IRCC is committed to ongoing collaboration with the provinces and territories to address immigration opportunity challenges. 3. There is an opportunity for Honorable Bikini to consider this option and his federal counterpart to provide relief to these potential applications with work permits expiring in 2024 and 2025. Exploitation under LMI-based work permits, that's an old story now, LMIA.
Yeah.
And then
I think this might. This thing might act as a catalyst for investigation. Like, who are the companies? Which companies are doing this?
Yeah, and they should.
They should.
OINP policy review. So it's a good big document, right? They're addressing all the issues that are required, even the nursing and midwifery.
Yep.
Registered nurses. So they covered all the bases. I think that's
this
amazing,
is just the
right?
first meeting. This is the first meeting to ask for advices. Like, what
and this
else
is more
we can do?
provincial
What else
based
we can
meeting.
do? Yeah.
Imagine having a federal based meeting, something we can do against the issue of work permit expiring on federal levels. Can't we do something on the federal levels, right? Like I heard Mark Miller saying that they're preparing something actually.
Migration, but see, what do you think about the increasing resentment against international students and immigrants, to be honest? What do you think about that? And how would you suggest like people like us to tackle it?
All right. So, okay, well, when we talk about any kind of a movement that has to do with political sense, right? This is something which I feel that it is entirely political. End of the day, it's in the best interest of the politicians right now to say that, okay, you know what, for everything that has happened that, for any policy failures that we have done, international students are responsible for it, right? So it's just like pointing the guns rather than the barrel on their face, they are pushing it towards the privileged, of the less privileged people, that is the international students with an expiry date on their status in there. So we are just an easy target, I guess. Not we, but then you guys are just an easy target when it comes to that. Now we should refrain from when such a hate is there in the society. We should always refrain from doing certain things, right? Like that can be anything. Like they'll misinterpret anything. For example, people who are protesting in PEI. Now there's this, I guess, guy on Twitter. He's posting videos and all that, right? So he's been spewing hate against such people. That why are they protesting? Deport them, do this thing and all that, right? So he's getting a lot of attention online as well. Another thing is the one that you mentioned about what we can do about this is choose your channels wisely, your social media channels wisely. Right now, the issue is, I'll speak this more in Punjabi, that way everybody is able to grasp the depth of this issue. ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਟਿਕਟੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਗਾਲ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਤੇ ਗਾਲ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਟਿਕਟੋਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਅਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਬੈਂਡ ਇਹ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਬੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੇਟ ਫੈਲਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਐਕਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਾਰਮਰਲੀ ਟਵਿੱਟਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫੈਲਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਉਹਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਕੋਈ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਦਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਪੜਿਆ ਔਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਟਿਕਟੋਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਜੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਰੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਆਣਾ ਹੀ ਬਣਦਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਚਲੋ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਅੱਗੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਈ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਭਾਈ ਜੇ ਆਪਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਉੱਧਰ ਕੱਢ ਦਿਓ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੋ ਬਟ ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਚੂਜ਼ ਆਰ ਚੈਨਲਸ ਵਾਈਜ਼ਲੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਸਮੇਂ ਨੇ ਥੀਸ ਆਰ ਦ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਵੈਨ ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਕੇਅਰਫੁਲ ਵਾਟ ਵੀ ਸੇ ਐਂਡ ਹਾਊ ਵੀ ਐਕਟ in the society, in the Canadian society. This is very important for each one of us. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਲਟੀਪਲਾਈਡ ਬਾਈ 10 ਕਰਕੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੰਗਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਿਵਾਈਡਡ ਬਾਈ 10 ਕਰਕੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਬਸ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ
ਭਾਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਸੀਏ ਬਾਈ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਐਡ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ 1 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਂਟੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਵੇਲੇ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਸਮਝ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਕਿ ਭਵਿੱਖਬਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਫਾਸਿਜ਼ਮ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਫਾਸ਼ੀਵਾਦ ਕਈ ਨਾਅਰੇ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਫਾਸ਼ੀਵਾਦ ਮੁਰਦਾਬਾਦ ਏਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੋਦੀ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਹਿਟਲਰ ਜਾਂ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਫਾਸ਼ੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਖਬਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਇਹ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਸੰਕਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੁੱਟ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਕਿਰਤੀ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੰਡੀਆਂ ਪਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਫੈਲਾਈਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੜਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਿਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ ਆ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ ਨਾ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਰਿਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ 10 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਿਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰੂਲਿੰਗ ਕਲਾਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਜਮਾਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਕਿਰਤੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੜਾਉਣ ਲਈ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਕਲਾਸ ਆ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ, ਸਾਡੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਹਾਨੇ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਆਪਣੇ ਕਈ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵੀਰ ਭੈਣ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖੇ ਆ ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪੋਸਟਾਂ ਪਾਉਣਗੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਕਿ ਭਈਏ ਭਜਾ ਦਿਓ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚੋਂ, ਜੇ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਵੀ ਭਈਏ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚ ਆ ਗਏ, ਭਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਖਾ ਲਿਆ। ਉਹ ਸੇਮ ਉਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣਨੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ। ਉੱਥੇ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਕੰਮ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਕਹੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਭਈਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਆ, ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇਸ਼ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਜ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਰਾਜ 'ਚ ਗਏ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਇਹ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਐਡੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦਾ ਅੱਧਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਬਾਹਰ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਇਹੀ ਹਾਲ ਆ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਲੇਬਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਬਾਹਰ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ, ਉਹ ਲੇਬਰ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਅਨਡਿਵੈਲਪਡ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਜਾਂ ਖੇਤਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਲੇਬਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਲੇਬਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਲੇਬਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਛ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਰੁਝਾਨ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਣਾ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਮਾਰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਨਵੇਂ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ। ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਪੈ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਨਸਲੀ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਆਉਣੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਵੇ, ਇਹ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਟੈਕਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਇੱਕੋ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਗਾ, ਉਸ ਹਵਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾ ਬਈਏ। ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਐ ਕਰਦੇ, ਤੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਪਈ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੈਂਡ ਲਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਏਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਧਿਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਣਾਈਏ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਕੋਈ ਅਲੱਗ ਕੌਮ ਆ, ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੰਦ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਆ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੌਣ, ਹਨਾ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਲੜਾਈ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨਾ। ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਾਪਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ। ਭਗਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਭਗਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਜਵਾਬ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੜਨ ਤੋਂ ਲੜਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਜਮਾਤੀ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਜਮਾਤੀ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਇਹੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਿੱਤਰ ਕੌਣ ਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਕੌਣ ਆ, ਸਾਡੀ ਜਮਾਤ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਆ, ਮਲਿਕ ਭਾਗੋ ਕੌਣ ਆ, ਭਾਈ ਲਾਲੋ ਕੌਣ ਆ, ਇਹਦੀ ਪਛਾਣ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਲੜਾਈ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਮਾਤੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਚੇਤਨ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਜਥੇਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਮਤਲਬ ਹਨੇਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਠੱਲ ਪਾਈ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਜੀ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਐਡ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੈਲੀਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਦਾ QR ਕੋਡ ਆ, ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ।
I think that's about it. But okay, we'll go through both of these ones. So, what Converse said is basically true. It's a political wave. It's a political deflection.
Yeah.
Because they need scapegoats. We are just a scapegoat because we are a micro minority, right? So it's just not, again, I'm not making it racial. It's just not white politicians doing that, or it's just not brown, like other politicians doing it. It's a collective effort, right? It's a party politics. And
Exactly.
it is more class-based at this point, right now. And it will take a racial flavor too going forward, like he said. So our media is important. That's what the first question you asked me, that why we need to exist on social media, like people like us.
Yeah.
Just to create that impact, right? Just to make that noise that's needed to be there, to create that media that's actually shows a different kind of picture than what's been shown to these people. So I know Kanwar is a very he's very active online, and he knows things. He knows things. He has seen some things, and he has reacted to it too in some other podcasts and stuff. I have never watched those podcasts. I just watched the clips of some of them, and he has talked some things very intensively. What he was saying was a simple socialist theory, basically.
Okay.
So, we say workers of the world unite.
Yeah.
It's that thing. What he was talking about is internationalism. It's just not about us as a laborers, as immigrants. It's about every immigrant in every different part of the world. It's the students fighting here are just not fighting for themselves in this country. It's an example we are creating for students in other countries too. It's an example we are creating for students in countries like Australia, countries like New Zealand, countries like America, countries like UK, Germany. So it's a united struggle.
It is.
And what, like I told you, it's taking a racial favor. Why? Because it's very easy to divide us on the racial basis. It's very easy to divide working class people, because working class people have different kind of interests at the same time, but they're united by their class.
Yeah.
So it's a very collaborative effort. That's why when I said the best example in history I can give you, the Germany before World War II and after World War One. Why, like he talked about fascists, like why fascists came into the power in Italy and Germany. It was just they divided the people and threw one community under the bus. Scapegoating.
Yeah.
Like I said before, we are scapegoats, sacrificial lambs. And it's easy to sacrifice us because you're not losing a Canadian citizen. You're not at a loss here. You're not losing anything. It's very easy to lose us. And to be true, we won't be accepted by our governments too. Do you think Indian government will do something for us? They will use us as a scapegoats too. I read an article a few days before. Indian government was saying, "Oh, Canada has they have tarnished their image the way they have treated international students." I'm like, first of all, you should not be saying that, right? You should be supporting the students on the ground if you really want to. Second, why the fuck are we leaving India?
Yeah, that's the whole different Pandora's box.
I'm like, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
It's a collective effort. When we talk about fascism in World War II Germany, they did the same thing. They divided the working classes on the basis of religion, class, structure, color. They went so much so further. They literally divided people on basis of their hair and the color of their eyes. It was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like eugenics. When we talk about eugenics, and again, coming back to another question, that how economics play a part, because economics is a cataract, I will say in this case, because you're divided on the basis of economics, your class, and your class is determined by the working power, by the institutions. They can take that power away from you anytime. So you're divided here, and they're trying to divide us. He's totally correct. Bikram was totally correct. They are trying to divide the working class people. Like I said, when I came to Canada, only thing I heard was they're taking away our jobs. For me, it was like, whose jobs and how you got that rhetoric?
Yeah.
We created jobs. How many Indian students that graduated, right, created businesses? How many Indians that came and created businesses here? Or anybody who came from those foreign countries created businesses. They created jobs. And 100% correct, that recession, we were always in recession. After 2008, Western countries were always in recession. So we never went out of it. It's just series of things happen, and we were like in a better part of that recession. There's a very huge forces at play to divide the working class, to divide the blue collar class by the ruling classes. That's a discussion more in the socialist theory, or if you want to go on that side, or communist or leftist progressive theory.
Okay.
But yeah, that's very true. It does apply to our life every day, and we try to ignore it, but there will be a time then we can't. Ignorance will lose its I will say power.
I think this is a good start of a very interesting, very long-lasting dialogue.
Yeah.
And I don't think it will be us alone that's gonna continue this.
No. We need people. Always.
There are a lot of
Yeah.
people out there.
Yeah, we'll find them.
Like, I know I'm not an intellectual. I'm not a scholar. I barely passed my college degree in whatever form and time I
Same
took.
here.
took. Yeah, right. And I don't even practice that anymore. So but I like to observe. I like to observe, and I like to try to understand people, especially now. Maybe not before, but now. Maybe I have time. Maybe I don't have that sort of clutches of the rat race anymore.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good start. I think it's gonna get better.
What would be a right discussion for you?
Right
What do you think?
discussion.
What is a right discussion? What is the right point? What are the points you want to touch, or you feel should be spoken about? Things should be, people should know about these kind of things.
Uh, Huge issue in Punjab. The casteism still
Mhm.
going on. Still going on.
It's prevalent here too. You can
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
prevalent here, and the music. The music is bad, man. Come on. What the heck? I mean,
Believe
like,
me, I other than Sidhu Moosewala and some of the other famous one that I'm still stuck in previous times. I don't even hear.
I can't hear Sidhu either. Like, maybe some songs, but he. See, I know context matters a lot,
Yeah,
but as a majority of
we had that
his.
discussion.
We did? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So if you're promoting a caste, whatever form and
Mhm,
fame, you're not promoting
mhm,
yourself. You're not saying I am like that. You're
mhm,
saying the whole community, your whole race of people are like that,
mhm,
or
mhm.
superior or whatever. So, I think that's. I don't know. I'm still like dicey about it, where I stand about it, or do I even
Mhm.
understand it correctly? I don't want to form an opinion right away.
Yeah,
But this is something I want to discuss, of course. I want to educate myself. Like, am I
yeah.
thinking it wrong way? Am I like not being tolerant? Or am I losing the context of things? Things like that.
We'll have Satinder Sartaaj on the podcast one day, and then we'll talk about it.
Dude likes to road trip. He'll talk about going to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then we'll take him. No, we'll do a road trip podcast with him. You drive. I'll sit in the back seat. He will sit in the next seat.
this was my plan. There was a very nice park nearby, like a conservation area.
Yeah.
My plan was just take the camera and mic there and sit with somebody very casually on the grass and just start talking there. Like, whatever.
I'm doing it. The Vagabond is all about that. But
Yeah.
I'm still doing like personal podcasts right now. It's like me speaking about things, my
Yeah.
experiences. But I will one day. I'm just a cocoon in the shell right now. I know where I need to go, but it will take time.
You will come. You will come to the dark side of this world.
No, I'm the man. I'm the Mandalorian. If you're talking Star
Mandalorian.
Wars, I'm not even Jedi. I'm not even
You're the hired gun.
Sith.
The hired
I'm
gun
the
got
hired gun.
hired gun got conscious. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm the hired gun that got conscious. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've read a lot of theories and stuff, and I don't like to align myself to any kind of theory.
Hmm.
This is the beautiful thing I said last night, and I'm very proud of it when I said it. I'm not pro anything.
That's the best part. Once you do something, once you settle yourself to something,
Yeah.
you will be like bog water.
Mhm.
You're not ready to scrutinize yourself. You're not ready to change yourself. There's
Yeah.
always something new to learn. There's always something to
Yeah.
add, to remove.
I'm my biggest critic. I don't even need critics.
Yeah.
Now we are having this conversation,
Yeah.
and I'm already criticized myself on so many things. It's just unimaginable. I'm my biggest foe.
I think that's the process. That's the process
Yeah.
speaking of, let's call it creative people or any people.
Yeah.
It's just a double, triple step processing. Fix it
Like
next time.
you're a good observer. The amount of conversation I had with you in chat or over phone, right?
Mhm.
You have that uniqueness of seeing world from a very neutral perspectives.
Yeah, my dad used to say this thing whenever whenever he was telling me, oh, oh cheez ਉੱਥੇ ਪਈ ਆ, right? I'm not able to find it. Oh, ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨਾ ਦੇਖ, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਖ ਜੂਗੀ. So he was planting this idea of perception very early age. कि मेरी आँखें ना देख, like, come into my
No.
shoes, come into my place, or whatever. I mean, he was talking literal, but I know it was
Yeah.
more philosophical way
So
of saying it.
I like if somebody is listening to this and would like to go to my Vagabond podcast.
Yeah.
I did a podcast. I titled it "The Fundamentals of Caring."
Yeah.
And I talk about social imagination in there.
Okay.
Why I say I'm pro nothing?
Mhm.
Because, for example, I didn't want you to bring it here, but I was just to touch things that are happening in Palestine.
Hmm.
I know about their cause and everything. It's not the cause for me. It's not the ideology for me.
Hmm.
It's the injustice for me. Because I can put myself in that shoe of regular person in Palestine right now and experience the tragedy.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom it. My brain cannot process it.
Yeah.
Even if I have been through tough times in my life, that's something like next level tragedy for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you put yourself in shoes of that person, the topic you're talking about. Like I'm talking about, we are talking about international students. If somebody outside there is not an international student, just put yourself in this position. I will give you a story that you can pick up before we close this out. Imagine your country was colonized for hundreds of years. Then we had a freedom moment. And out of that, all we got is blood, a partition. And due to that partition, our countries couldn't progress.
Yeah.
That partition was very deliberate.
Yeah.
Just to keep South Asians locked in a
Confused
time period, diffused, and we are stuck in a time period.
Yeah.
We have not moved ahead. I was someplace yesterday. When I talked to people, I still felt like we are still in a capsule somewhere, in time capsule, and we haven't recovered from colonialism. We are still a colonial society.
The trauma is there. The aftermath is still there.
We are still in colonial society. We are being controlled from very lot of perspectives. I will talk about in future. There are a lot of things I can go over. But I'm giving this story for a regular person, a Canadian who wants to hear. So you don't have resources. Your country is divided. You have blood everywhere. Then you come to this country and you're actually sold this idea of freedom. You're sold the Canadian dream. You're sold that indentured service to us. We come here, we perform our services at our best. We give money on our end. I pay taxes right now, right? For example, you pay taxes. We do everything that any regular Canadian would do. We perform the services, we kept our promises, our side of deal. Now is the time they just totally changed the game post.
They did, yeah.
The game is not same anymore, and the goalpost doesn't even exist. It's not even about changing the goalpost. The goalpost doesn't even exist. What should I do now? For me, there is nothing to go back to. I have a lot invested here. And I'm part of a progress here. So somebody has to put themselves in our shoes and realize. And we have to start doing that. And I think the Avaz platform that we are creating right now is a combination of that consciousness, of those stories, of that consciousness, and create a media that kind of reflects these kind of things. We are two different people, very different perspective, but I think there's a lot more to come from us, a lot more for us to contribute. But yeah, this is about international students. This is about the struggle of every international like you and me from every different generation or time period has gone through and is going through. And I hope there are different kind of resolutions and good resolutions in favor of these international students.
So let's give the final message to everybody.
ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਵਸਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਰਹੋ ਆਬਾਦ ਰਹੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਮਾੜਾ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਤਥਾਸਤੂ
That's
No, we should clip those old Punjabi Yoga Singh clips, you know.
ਓਏ
Oi, Zaldara!
ਓਏ ਓਏ ਥੱਲੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਓਏ
I don't know why they do this, but we should clip our messages like that.
Yeah, somebody commented a while ago that there was like a 10-15 minute foreplay before the actual flight fight.
मैं एक तो होता हिंदी वाला मैं तेरे टुकड़े कर दूंगा, right? That kind of.
ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ
Then there is
ਟੋਟੇ
there is-
ਟੋਟੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੁੱਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੱਲਾ ਇਹ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੁਛ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ
no, it's like there is a pace thing.
Ah.
Like Hindi wala मैं तेरे टुकड़े टुकड़े कर दूंगा. The Punjabi ones go more slower but louder.
Yeah.
ओए दूसरे मैं तेरे टुकड़े टुकड़े कर दूंगा. I'm like, how much? What kind of voice you need for that? So much voice work, so much voice control, and you know the poetic thing they do. It's like that guy's telling him poetry, but for like it's like hip hop of their own generation. If somebody puts a hip hop beat behind it and just fasten it up a little bit, pace it up, I'll say it's a band.
ਬੈਠਾਂਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਬੈਂਡ ਲੈਬ ਤੇ
Yeah.
all right
Well, it was nice. It's nice talking about so many things.
yeah I think
And
we
being a-
talked like 3 hours and recorded almost almost 2.5 hours.
2 hours. So yeah, I think it's a good start. What do you say?
That was good. It was natural, it was flowy,
Yeah.
nothing felt awkward other
Yeah.
than sitting. I had to do something about sitting.
Yeah, we need to find much comfortable setting.
Yeah.
And, I wish we were in person. We could do like you wanted to go into a park and shoot it there.
Yeah,
But
man.
one day when I will be in Ontario, we'll
When
do
are
it.
you are you well, let's see. Let's just go with the
Let's
flow.
see.
Let's just go with the flow.
Jiunde raho, vasde raho, jitte raho, abad raho.
Nice talking to you, Rumi. And
Yeah.
this is the Awaz, and this is a joint thing by Vagabond Project and Anhad Awaz.
Yeah. Project Vagabond. This is the old name. I need to change it. I did.
Okay, the Project
So-
Vagabond.
Let me do this. I will do this. I'll handle it. So we have Anand Havas, Sunny from Anand Havas here, and
Yeah.
Rumain from the project Vagabond. We're two different projects, and this is our accumulation of our efforts called avaz.ca or just Avaz, and you're listening to Avaz Radio. Stay tuned. Shabakha.